Hi, my name is Chase Barron, and I did my paper on weather-related issues and the way that the media covers them because my journalism is my major, and water is what this class is about. So, the beginning of my paper really talks about how if you were looking on your television and you were just watching the news, which would be on the screen first, a 300 mile per hour hurricane or just a little storm? What would happen is because of the impact of and the death related toll of it, the tornado would be on just because this is more newsworthy. Then my paper goes into talking about how the California drought is actually one of the worst droughts that the country's ever seen, according to a CBS News outlet. And the article states that if an average family uses more than 160 gallons of water per day, they should be able to cut their normal usage by over 35%, which is really not that much of a decrease. And people have been reporting on this, but not at the rate at which they should because of the intensity of this drought. And what my paper goes into after that. So my main aspect of my paper is to explain that all of these weather related incidents should be reported equally. And then my paper goes into how this is because an additional minute of nightly news coverage is it raises donations to these things, like and for the tsunami that happened off the coast of the Indian Ocean. The donations went up by 17 to 21%, all because of the amount of reporting that came from these reporters. Excuse me. According to the United Nations statistic, this tsunami actually claimed the lives of over 229,000 people, and they just did not report on it as much as they should have. And then my paper goes very in depth about how the Flint water crisis that started actually way back in 2014, but a majority of news outlets didn't start covering it really until 2016 or late in 2015. And this actually impacted a lot more people than many people think, because it impacts the children. It impacted everybody that lived there because they switched out which location their water came from, and it used to come from the Detroit Water and Sewerage, and now it's from the Flint River, which the Flint River didn't have necessary pipelines to get rid of all the lead. No, no, this is what happens. My bad. What happened was the Flint River was so coarse, and the pipes did not have necessary corrosion blockers. So what happened was the corrosion from the stuff inside the river got the paint and metal off of the pipes, and this contaminated the water, which made people get really sick. And a lot of people have been donating, but still, like, nobody is really still talking about it, even though so many people are still impacted today. And then my paper just concludes by talking about how, excuse me, about how just people should really just go into their news coverages and report on what's newsworthy and not just what will make them the most money. Thank you, and I just thank you.